Welcome to the Motown India show, Mr. Deepak Garg. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, thank you. And my first question, sir, is this company has been in existence since 2002. Very briefly, can you tell me about the journey so far?
So I think, as you know, that we started in 2002 in India, and we started as a trading company by importing equipment from our global factories and selling them in India. And somewhere down the line in 2006, we acquired the land in Pune and in the industrial area in Pune, and then we started constructing the factory. This was one of our first factories outside of China, and we completed this factory in 2009. So this year we have completed 11 years of the factory operations in India, and almost close to 20 years in India now, 18 years plus in India. The journey has been very challenging and exciting because all these years we first started with trading, and then we went on to manufacturing, started localization of our products, and today we stand at a very strong platform in India, mainly through our three localizations that we have done over the years. First thing was localizing the team. So we have localized our team to the extent of 99.5% plus. We have hardly any expats in our team now. Second was we localized our R&D. So we have a very strong R&D team in India, which does cooperate with our global R&D centers, and they customize the products for the India market and the South Asia markets. Also for some of the overseas markets, depending on the requirement globally. The third localization was obviously the manufacturing and supply chain. So we have developed a fairly good manufacturing and production system in India, in the factory, and also well supported by local supply chain, local sources in India, which includes many of the multinationals who have factories in India, plus many of the local vendors who have got factories in India. So we have developed that ecosystem around us as our third pillar of localization. So the journey so far has been very good. Today we stand at the highest rank in terms of market share in many of the product categories. So if you look at some of our products like piling rigs, like cranes, our pumps, our some of our concrete equipment, we are number one in India. Also, we are very strongly placed in the excavator segment now. We are number 4 in the country, while we were number 10 plus around 5 years back. So we have been constantly making a good progress on improving our market position, also in terms of our market presence. We have also established a very good distribution dealership network in India and in South Asia, which includes more than 36 dealers and also over 140 touch points, you can say offices of these dealers across the country. We also are exporters from India. So we export almost 10 to 15% of our production outside of India, which includes countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, Middle East, Africa, some of the Southeast Asian countries also. So whatever products are suitable that we make in India for those markets, we are also exporting to these countries. So that's where we stand today. We are, in fact, you can say amongst the top 5 construction equipment players in the country today. So it has been a challenging but a very exciting journey.
Okay, wonderful. I think you answered so many of my questions. You are a man with great experience. You spent a lot of time with various companies in the Tata Group, and subsequently when you joined this company, as you mentioned, it was quite a challenging task. So can I say it was some kind of a cakewalk for you doing business here?
Well, it was not, because I would not say it was a cakewalk, because it was a Herculean task for me. very, very challenging, but I think I was quite excited about it. Uh, the biggest challenge was in terms of brand. So the brand recognition by the customers, by the society, by the vendors, your supply chain partners was not so great at that point of time when I just joined in. And we have had some, you can say, global alliances or global takeovers, which had actually resulted in trimming down some of our product lines based on the global strategy. So that's those things have had left some you can say some poor memories in the minds of the customers, in the mind of the supply chain partners, also in the minds of our financiers. So I think the biggest challenge was to ramp up the team. So I brought in actually a very good team with a good experience in the industry. So all the head of the departments, senior leadership team was the first thing that I did to actually bring in the confidence of the market in Sany. So we ramped up our sales network, we ramped up our sales team, services, also simultaneously worked on R&D and localization to enhance our product range. So many things that we had to do because customers had probably not a very great image of the brand. And as we started launching localized products, we started having a local team, and we started delivering excellent services to the customers. We started getting recognition, and that is what brought us to this number one position. Another thing that we actually did was we introduced newer models and newer range of products, which means, if you look at a value chain of any construction project, it just does not require one kind of equipment. It requires different types of equipment. So if there is a road project, it requires, earth moving equipment, compaction equipment, concreting equipment, hoisting equipment, cranes, everything it requires. So we brought in this entire range of equipment which addresses the value chain for any customer, for a construction company. So what happened is that customers, rather than dealing with 5 companies, started preferring to deal with Sany at least for 3 or 4 product ranges. So when we brought to them a complete kind of a package for a site, they started looking at us differently. And today we actually, I can proudly say that many customers are associated with us for the full range of products, not just one product line or 2 product lines, but entire range of products. There are customers who own those range, and that is what we brought to the table. Another factor, while we started ramping up our scale in the market, we started localization simultaneously. So if you look today at the point when I had joined, we had only 4 products in our factory being made, that too in very small numbers. Today we make more than 50-60 products with more than 150 variants in 5 years time. So this range that we added to our portfolio in India actually helped us in getting the image for the brand, getting the image for the company, and also scaling up our business in the country. Another key challenge that we faced was, if you understand the whole of the finance business in India, all this equipment, 95% plus is financed through banks or NBFCs. So we actually had to work very closely with banks and NBFCs who actually initially did not have a very high opinion about Sany. They knew Sany as a global player, but not as a very strong player in India. So our products were not, at par with other companies in India. They were not considered at par. So the amount of funding that they will do for our equipment will be lesser. There will be stringent terms, interest rates would be higher. So we worked very closely with financiers to address their concerns. So they wanted some kind of assurance that, okay, if there is a bad case, will you help me? So we went out of the way, okay, if you have a bad case when you finance our machines, We will, support you with immediate sales. We will support you with some extra warranty, something like that. So we came back or went back, partnered with the financiers to address their concerns. And as the portfolio seasoned over say 2-3 years, the resale value also went up. So if you are from the auto background also, so you see resale value is very, very important for any financier. So we had like a resale value which was just 1 year old equipment would fetch only 40%. So today it fetches 70%. So the resale value also kept on going up over a period of time. So that was one of the key important factors with the financiers. So that also, as they started seeing our product performance, demand in the market, they had a lot of confidence in Sany. And today, I'm very proud to say we have got around 19 or 20 partners who finance our equipment. We have MOUs with these financiers, and relationship has been growing every year with them.
Okay, and but while all this has been challenging, what about competition from very big players? I mean, how did the company deal with that? I mean, what were your USPs that brought you forward?
See, I think competition was equally tough. I would not say that it was a cakewalk. And we had to actually struggle a lot first for the brand. And there were, very negative campaigns done by some of the competition. I won't say all, but even the competition recognized the strengths of Sany globally, because we have fairly, we were number 5 in the world in terms of CE player rankings. And so competition was well aware of the strengths of Sany. And I think we worked well in terms of our product line, the range of products, also in terms of delivering, the services. So all these, the way we actually, we were able to package our products gave us a good advantage over the customers. There is one more thing, in many product lines, many of the customers had a feeling that, they needed some flexibility in terms of, post-sale services, or in terms of, financing supports. So we worked out those with financiers, we worked out those through our own network, and we tried to, cooperate with the customers more and more. And one of the best things was, the absolute advantage of product. The customers had better efficiency from our product. What he eventually looks for is his return. So their owning and operating costs, their returns on our products were better. The technology was better.
Okay. And since you make a whole range of products, like you mentioned a little while ago, from excavators to cranes to piling rigs and mining equipment, it's huge. That's quite a spread. So how are these products made? Like typically, I'm from the auto industry, and I know that, for example, a motorcycle manufacturer just makes a lot of motorcycles and puts it in the market. But how do you do it? As you mentioned, you got around 50-60 products with 150 variants. So do you just make it and put it out in the market, or you look for demand first before you make it?
No, we have to do a demand assessment on a continuous basis. It is you can say it is a macro to micro. So there is an annual business plan, then there is a half-yearly plan, then there is a quarterly plan, then there is a monthly review of a monthly plan. And based on those monthly plans, you plan your variants, how much to produce. But there is a fairly good amount of standardization. So if you see a car which will have, those EX, CX, VX, ZX variant, so they will have some features, right, which are different. So we would also have certain things. Some customers want without AC. Some customers wants with AC. Some wants with some kind of fire suppression system. So those are like, add-ons or accessories or some special attachments. So those we plan as accessory items, and that is how the variants are managed. Because these are not like auto industry that we have high volumes. So even with smaller volumes, we need to manage these variants.
Yes. How expensive are your products? Assuming a person buys your product, What does he do with it afterwards once the job is complete at a port, for example, or a construction site? Well, what happens to that?
Okay. See, first thing, I think the pricing, we sell an equipment which is worth 15 lakhs. 15 lakhs, right up to, you can say in India, what I have sold, the largest is up to 20 crores. Okay, so we are into large port machinery also, port cranes. So we have sold those cranes which, each crane is around 15 crores. There are some large cranes we have sold which are at 20 crores, like that. So the range is right from 15 lakhs to 15-20 crores that we have sold in India. But globally, yes, we have bigger products also. You can say a crane which can cost more than 150 crores also, or 200 crores also. Yeah, so we have super large cranes also.
Okay.
So, but we have not sold them in India.
Okay, so my question again was, part of it was, so who buys it and what does he do? I mean, are these redeployed somewhere else or what happens?
Yeah, so I see, first thing is that there are different categories of customers who buy our equipment. So let me start from the top. There could be some government construction companies or government departments. Then there could be, there are customers who are construction companies. So large construction companies, say like L&T, so construction companies. Then there are mid-sized construction companies, corporates who are there. Then there are individual contractors. So you see a lot of irrigation contractors, mining contractors, road contractors. So metro construction companies, bridge construction companies, port construction companies. So all these companies, they buy our equipment. Contractors. Then there is a big market of rental. Okay. So there is a big rental market. So that there are small, you can say rentals are like, there is one guy, like if I am an individual, I may have one machine, two machines. Then there are large rental companies who have 100 machines. So they are fleet owners. So right from one machine owner to maybe 100, 150, 200 machine owners, there are rental companies. So these are also our customers. So they use our equipment for different products. Now what happens is, typically in today's scenario, construction companies, they buy equipment, they use it for a project, then redeploy them to newer projects if they have. If they don't have, they even sell them off. Second is, these days, many OEMs, like we have done with some companies, they wanted to, like one size of equipment they don't want to use anymore. So we buy them back, give them a new equipment. So we have that also, that selectively we do buyback and we resell new equipment which they want. And the buyback equipment we sell and channelize it to other customers in rental segment, or there are contractors who want used equipment because they want to keep their investments low. So we sell to them. So we have these mechanisms. Rental companies traditionally keep the equipment for a longer time. They don't dispose of, because they continuously are associated with different construction companies. So they keep on using the equipment. Yes, these days, many large construction companies, many projects, the demand is that the equipment should not be more than 5 years old. So this is a new thing which has started coming in last 2-3 years. So then what happens is, rental companies, they deploy the older equipment in locations where they are acceptable and keep buying new equipment for the sites where there is a limit of aging.
And you also did mention earlier about your R&D center. Very briefly, how strong is it? And when it comes to interacting with R&D centers abroad, how is that interaction, and how much do they work in tandem with your global operations?
Yeah, so we have a complete team of around 40 R&D members here in India. They see, if you look at, in our case, what happens is, we don't deal with one R&D center. We have to deal with at least 7 or 8 R&D centers of the group, because globally we have, each product line is a company by itself under the group umbrella. Okay. So we have to deal with those R&D centers. So we have teams allocated to each R&D center who work, they have like a daily coordination with them. So our teams here study the market requirement, discuss with the global R&D centers, what kind of products are required, what kind of modifications are required. They agree to something and they carry out the modifications in India. Then there is a validation done for, design validation is done. Any prototyping that is required, it is decided whether it will be done in India or in some other R&D center. So depending on the resource availability and the R&D facility available, an optimized plan is made so as to maximize the efficiency of R&D.
Obviously, like every other company, you have also set your targets, and I read somewhere that, the whole group intends to be $1 billion company by 2020. I've not seen the figures, and your company in particular in India wants to have at least an 8 to 10% of that share. So are you spot on with your targets?
Yeah, I think we are quite close to the target in terms of our construction and mining equipment. But we had a little slowdown on our other businesses that we were planning. So we had a plan to go more aggressive in our wind energy business, which we had to limit because of some constraints on the market side, because the government went from, you can say, the tariff-based fee on power to the auction, to the tariff auctions. Okay. So reverse bidding. So with that, our turbines that we were planning to start manufacturing in India were not competitive enough at that point of time. So we had to actually slow down some of our plans. But we actually have caught up with that, and now the new turbines are getting ready and should be probably by 2021 end or 22 beginning. We should be having. We should be able to start that business as well, which we had actually slowed down.
And you also used the word slow down, which is a terrible word these days. Thanks to the pandemic, things have really slowed down. Economically, we are not doing very well. GDP is down. So is it a little tough for a company like yours and your industry specifically?
Yeah, it has been tough for the industry because if I say slowdown, we have been seeing, I would not say it is a major slowdown, but 2019 itself, we saw a kind of a reduction in the industry size in 2019 before the pandemic itself. So our numbers show that all, no doubt about it. So, but 2020 obviously has been affected by the pandemic. But to tell you very frankly, industry was quite worried during the pandemic, but with the government's initiative now, because government also feels that for the recovery, infrastructure is one of the key pillars for recovery. So that can generate employment, that can also give thrust to the core sectors like steel, cement. All these areas can be ramped up faster. Also the power generation or everything can be moved faster once infrastructure construction picks up. So government's focus on that is actually showing good now. So we are seeing that a lot of infrastructure projects are getting started. So the pickup is happening now. Last 2 months we are seeing that the market has started recovering, and this is I would say faster than other businesses.
Okay.
So infrastructure equipment, we are seeing that there is normally commercial vehicles picks up before construction equipment.
Okay.
It's a historical trend. We always say that the growth of construction equipment lags commercial vehicles by 6 months. But this time we see that CE has started picking up before CV. Construction equipment has started picking up before commercial vehicles.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Although LCVs are still doing strong, as I understand.
Yes.
But this time construction equipment has actually started picking up. Of course, it is nowhere near the 2019 levels yet, but still there is a line of, we can see that light at the end of the tunnel that yes, we are, should be out in 3 or 4 months' time.
Okay, no, that's good news. There's also news about strained relations with China, and your company is also subsidiary of a big Chinese company. So has that in any way cast any kind of a shadow on business here for your company?
No, it has not. Sentiments are there, but it has not affected the business. Again, I think the because we make the products locally here in India, and it's like being dealt through an Indian company. So it's a shareholding, but product-wise, it's all done here. We have a local team. Dealers are all local in their local areas. So I think the connect with the customers, the relationship with the customers is quite strong at India level. So that has not impacted us much in terms of that. And see, one more thing is we are ourselves one of the key proponents of Atmanirbhar or localization or vocal for local.
Yes.
Okay. It is not that, see, when we are a global group, we ourselves have this group philosophy that as you reach a scale in any market, explore localization. So India is actually a long history for our group, but for other countries also we think the same.
Okay.
So if I have a factory in India and if I have a capability to manufacture, I must make in India. So that is the group philosophy. So we have so many local partners here, local vendor supply base who supply to us. So there is, it's like we are ourselves for that. And I have seen that. There was a time in 2013-14 when we used to import equipment and we used to tell customers, okay, sir, you open LC, letter of credits from the banks. Now with that arrangement, can a hirer afford to buy who doesn't have an EXIM code? So we localized it and our business grew up. We started buying components locally, our business went up. So it is like, we are making here and we are selling here. So and more so we are even exporting. So we are even exporting from India. So, and we are one such group who has no constraint on geography. Normally global companies will have regional restrictions. If you are making in India, please export only to Bangladesh and Nepal. We are allowed to export to Middle East, to Africa. I just need to ensure my quality and cost. That's it. Yeah, we do export to Africa, Middle East, everywhere. In fact, those are our regional companies there and they have dealerships. So those dealers buy from us and they are very happy with us because see, India also has one more strength, which is one skill. The second is training. The way our trainers can train them, they are very happy with us. Okay. I have an overseas training center in India which caters to whole of Southeast Asia, Middle East and Africa, in addition to India.
Okay. Okay.
So our trainers from India, they train the entire service network or sales network of Africa, Middle East, South Asia.
That's quite remarkable.
So that is that. So we are leveraging the talent of India also outside of India.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and after we grew our team in India, group also realized that we have a lot of talent in India. We have recruited a lot of service engineers, a lot of Indian team from India to Middle East, Africa, even to other countries. We recruited people for Australia, for the global network. So group has recognized the talent of India and we have been recruiting people for the globe.
Okay. What are the kind of investments your company has made here in India in terms of rupees, if I were to ask you? And going ahead, what is the kind of progress you are seeing here? And among the several businesses which are there, where you are into, which are the areas you think you are going to grow faster? And do you also foresee further investments in this country?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I think if you look at our tangible investments, which are normally in terms of, tangible assets, that would be probably close to 600 or 700 crores on the books. But we have invested a huge amount on our distribution network, on, investment in terms of HR, talent development. So I would put that entire thing to around 1,200 odd crores that we have invested in India in terms of market development and everything put together. Going forward, I think we have a good promising product line. We would be growing our excavator business further going forward, which is you can say almost 50% of our total business in India. Second is we will further grow our export presence. So like today we are around 10 to 15%. There was a time when we actually reached 20% also of our production to exports. But then exports markets also dropped substantially because Middle East actually went down a lot because of oil prices going down. So their investments were, delayed or you can say cancelled. So we actually have a very big plan to start higher exports from India to the neighboring countries, also to Middle East and Africa, which is quite convenient for us also as a group. So we are looking at that. That's another area of growth. Going forward, we are looking at in next 1 year time, we would be localizing another 4 or 5 product lines in India. With maybe you can say at least 15 to 20 variants. 4 to 5 product lines with 15 to 20 variants we should be localizing in India additionally, and these would then probably ramp up the business more. Another area would be very promising would be the wind energy sector that I talked about earlier. So probably there also we would be looking at growth once the products are certified in India. There is a certification requirement for the products in India. So once the wind products are certified, we will look at manufacturing here in India and then scaling it up further.
When you talk of exports, typically what are the products that are exported and in what form do they go as? Do they go as a CBU or do they go in kits, or how is it done?
Yeah, as of now, these are all CBUs. Largest proportion is excavators, then followed by concrete equipment, and then followed by cranes.
So that's all, I guess, and it was a pleasure speaking to you, sir, and wish you the very best.
Thank you, Daryan. Thank you so much.